Hi, it's MJ Moss, Century 21 Covered Bridges real estate agent, and I'm here at Exact Abstract LLC, which is a place I visit fairly often, a good thing for feeding my critters. This is where we come to close transactions, and I'm here to talk to the folks about how that works. And here it is, a very pleasant waiting space for buyers, sellers, attorneys, title people, insurance people, bankers, and most important, sellers and buyers. And here we have the people who make it happen. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hi.
Heather and Liz. And I want to talk to you guys about how this all works.
Sure thing.
Somebody come out here, go in there to the table, what do you want to do? And they keep candy here, that's another reason we come. I won't lie to you.
You can come out here. It's
Okay.
Unless you want to see the map or...
Yeah, let's, sure. Yeah, see, that's one of my favorite things. I love that map.
Mm-hmm.
This map, what's the year on this, Liz?
This map is from 1860. It's an original of the Columbia and Montour counties.
They were originally one county. And in my point of view, I think they still should be, because Montour is by far the geographically smallest in the state of Pennsylvania. And I think we waste a huge amount of resources with 67 counties. I think there should be 30 or 32. Of course, you can't tell that to commissioners.
I think they're doing something with the 911 where they're combining it.
Yes, they are.
So-
And I know there's some distress over that because they're having to do readdressing of things. How long have you been fooling with titles?
I've been here since 2007.
Okay.
I worked for Attorney Hummel the first time around in 1997. So 2007, Attorney Hummel started this company and asked me if I wanted to come aboard, and I said I'd give it a go, and I haven't left.
Yes, and she does a splendid job. And Heather has been more than helpful, especially when you have a realtor who can become irascible when things get strange.
I don't know that I know anybody that way.
Okay, so what do you do, and why is there an attorney involved?
Okay, well, what we do is we insure the title to the property that somebody is going to buy. Insuring the title, that means we do a title search, we go backwards. Our insurance goes backwards. You know, we go back in time and make sure that the people that owned it before the buyers, that everything is cleared up on their end and that the title is legit and that it can be transferred on.
Okay, how far do you typically go back? What's the norm?
The industry standard is now 40 to 60 years. It just depends on if there's back title readily available. Some people ask for longer.
Okay, how do you find out the title information?
Okay, well, we start with the deed, of course. We start with the deed of the current owner, the seller, and we just work our way backwards. And there's the recital that says who owned it before them. So every time we see a new name, in the recital, we have to run all that person's information.
So it's sort of like backwards begats?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay.
So we just keep going backwards and backwards and backwards until it's time to stop. And
Here's your bar quiz winning
oh goodness
answer. Okay,
All right.
if you know this one, you can win bets.
Okay.
Okay. Whose reign in England was it when part of the deed referring to title
Oh no.
that
I'm
we
already
still
failing.
use? Well, think of somebody who was pretty noble and a good guy whose brother was a real jerk.
I was gonna say King George, but only being fun. Richard. Let's go with Richard.
Richard the Lionhearted got locked up.
All right.
Prince John took over.
Okay.
He did a terrible job. Okay? And because of the terrible job he was doing, the nobles got together and created what document?
The Magna Carta.
Right. And that has language in it that is still in our contracts and deeds.
Neat.
Yeah. Most of our real estate law was based on English common law.
Wow. That's a good Trivial Pursuit question.
There you go. You're all set for your next visit
right.
to whatever friendly place you visit. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you go back and you look at the title, but who cares? Who cares who owned it 60 years ago?
Well, banks care. You should care. You as a buyer should care.
Okay.
Only because you want to make sure that you're buying something that nobody else can take away from you. Or a bank wants to make sure if they're going to give you money for a loan that nobody else has a claim before them.
Okay. One of my favorite words in real estate is hypothecation. I do like big words sometimes. What's hypothecation mean?
Oh, MJ, you're giving me a tough one.
It's simple. It's the whole concept of a mortgage, that you get to use something and claim it that somebody else actually owns.
Okay.
Okay? What's equity?
Equity would be, like the money that's in your home, really. Not physical money, but your property is worth X amount of dollars more than, your mortgage or whatever you already have against it, right?
Okay, yeah. So if I have equity in my property, if the bank has 80% and I have 20%, that means I still owe the bank a chunk of change.
You do.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got title search and we have title insurance, which I think lenders require.
Lenders require it. Almost every lender is going to require it. I see very few that will ask for a certificate of title from an attorney instead. It does happen every once in a while now, but most loans, a bank is going to want that title insurance, which is nice for me. It keeps me working.
Does it make any sense for an owner to have a title search done before they sell it?
Before they sell it?
Yeah, before they put it on the market, before they list it.
Well, hopefully they know what's against their property before they go. But let's say it's somebody who never got a title search, just bought it cash outright, had no idea what they're getting. I would say it probably is a good idea, just at least so they know what's out there, what could arise before closing.
What is a cloud on a title?
A boo-boo. It could be somebody didn't pay their mortgage, their taxes. Somebody else might have a claim to the property, a lien against the property.
What about boundaries? Are surveys ever required?
Surveys, of course, are required if there's a subdivision. I don't think we're a survey state, though, are we?
No, New York and New Jersey require it every time. Do you guys use a program to type in?
Yeah, we use a deed plotter just to make sure that the meets and bounds described in a deed close. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. The times that we can't do it is if it just says on the north by lands of so-and-so and on the west by lands of that person. That makes it kind of hard because it's just describing who's above you, who's behind you,
Right.
But when they actually give you, north 32 degrees, west, 500 feet, then of course that gives us a definite marker on where we can go.
What if it doesn't close?
Well, then sometimes it's just a scrivener's error and we can see where that happened in looking at the chain of title. Sometimes we have to go back to the attorney that prepared the deed ahead of time. If we can see that there's a survey reference, then we can, call the surveyor and look at the maps and see what's wrong.
Good.
If it doesn't close, well, then we have to ask the title company,
Okay.
what their suggestion is.
Okay. What kind of weird stuff happens at closings?
Weird stuff that happens at closings. We had one where the seller didn't get all of their belongings out of the property and for whatever reason thought that he had 3 more months to do it. We've had that happen. We've had somebody that took out a home equity mortgage against the property the day before they sold the property, and because of the 3-day rule, it didn't appear of record. So that was a little bit of a disaster. Luckily, it was with a local bank, so we were able to pick up the phone and call them and get it straightened out. But it was a lot of rush paperwork at the end, at the end there.
So you do check people's financial situation right before closing?
Yes, we do check to be sure that there are no new mortgages, no adverse conveyances, anything like that.
What's an adverse conveyance?
When you sell a portion of your property to somebody else.
Okay, so somebody's selling 5 acres, but they actually sold off 1 acre to somebody else? Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell a little story at this point. I worked for a different brokerage at the time, and I wasn't involved in the transaction, but I watched an agent's face go white when the buyers drove up on the day of closing in a brand new tricked out van.
Oh no.
Yeah. They couldn't close because their debt load changed and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what I tell my buyers. Between writing the contract and closing, do not buy anything bigger or more expensive than a small aluminum bread basket.
And don't apply for a credit card to get that.
Right.
That's
If you
for
want
sure.
to go out and splurge the day after, it's your money, it's your life, I don't care. But
Now, we don't check those kind of financials.
Right,
We
right.
leave that up to the
Sure,
bank.
sure.
Those aren't our rules; those are bank rules. But we do check to make sure that no new liens have arisen.
okay. What kinds of things are liens?
It could be that somebody didn't pay their municipal sewer bills or taxes, alimony, child support. In fact, I was just over across the street trying to get a domestics certification.
Okay, now wait a minute. Across the street is what?
The annex, the courthouse annex.
Okay.
The domestic relations office is there, and if somebody's name pops up for domestic arrearages, we have to run across and get the information there. What else do we check? Let's see, if somebody maybe lost a lawsuit and they owe money, that would be in the prothonotaria's office. We could see if there was a judgment against them.
What does prothonotary mean?
Oh, MJ, quit giving me.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, I
I've
don't
never
know
been
either.
able to discover it.
I
Drives
think
me
it's
crazy.
the clerk of courts, really. I don't know if it's a fancy word for the clerk of courts. It's where we would find all of the cases for this particular county.
Like lawsuits and stuff?
Lawsuits, not liens. Well, I guess somebody could put a lien that way. Judgments. If somebody got arrested for any reason at all, that would be in the courthouse in that office.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been able to find anybody who can actually tell me what the word means.
Yeah, I
Makes me crazy.
honestly don't know.
Makes
I'm
me
gonna have to
crazy.
look that up too.
Yeah. What is your general feeling at closing?
Closing is, I like to say that we're the happy part of the legal world. We get to come into this room and we all sit together, and in the end, somebody gets a new house. It's a fantastic feeling. They're always so excited. They get a new house, a new journey. They're thinking of all the preparations that they're going to be doing, how they want to decorate their new house. They just can't wait to move in, so it's a very exciting time for everybody.
Yeah, it's something I always kind of like, and I've been known to do some slightly zany things at closing. I'm useless at closing. At that point, my job is to crack jokes and keep people laughing.
Right.
I'm done with my job. And when Liz is done, like she said, typically we got a room full of happy people.
Yeah.
So, Liz, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Good to
it.
see you.